How does a young Roman noblewoman convert her pagan husband to Christianity on their wedding night and convince him to live in perpetual virginity? What kind of faith transforms a wedding celebration into a martyrdom story? Why has a 3rd century Roman martyr become the universal patron saint of all musicians? This is the story of Saint Cecilia, the bride who sang to God while the world celebrated, the virgin martyr who converted her husband with a word, and the young woman who took 3 days to die yet spent them singing, proving that the truest music is the soul's song to its creator. What kind of courage turns a wedding into a martyrdom and a melody into a miracle? Follow Saint Cecilia into the fire that couldn't silence her voice. Hit like and subscribe for more stories where music defies death and faith outlasts empire. She was born around the year 200 into Rome's privileged class. The gens Caecilia carried a name that commanded respect and opened doors. But beneath the golden surface of her life beat a secret heart. She was Christian, in a city where that word could mean death. By young womanhood, Cecilia's devotion ran deep. She prayed in pre-dawn darkness, fasted when others feasted. And she made a vow that would define everything. She consecrated her virginity to Christ, promising to remain unmarried, to belong to Him alone. But Roman daughters did not choose their paths. When her father announced her betrothal to Valerian, a young nobleman, wealthy and well-regarded, Cecilia had no power to refuse. The wedding date was set. Her vow to Christ would collide with Rome's absolute authority over daughters. The wedding day arrived in celebration. Musicians filled the house, lyres, flutes, drums, and cymbals. Guests gathered, wine flowed, laughter echoed. Cecilia participated in every ritual, but inwardly she sang a different song. While the instruments played around her, she lifted a melody to God alone, a prayer for protection, a love song to the only bridegroom she wanted. The celebration ended. The test began. They were alone. Valerian stood before her husband now, with every right Roman society could grant him. Cecilia felt her heart hammering, but she spoke. "I have a secret to tell you. I am a Christian. I have taken a vow of virginity before God. My purity is guarded by an angel. If you violate my vow, the angel will strike you down. But if you respect what I have promised to Christ, that angel will love you too." She had risked everything. Valerian could have responded with rage, reported her, or forced himself upon her. Instead, something in him stirred. "Show me this angel," he said quietly. "First, you must be purified. Go to the Via Appia. Ask for Pope Urban. He will baptize you. Then return, and you will see." That night, Valerian left, found Urban hiding in the catacombs, and heard the gospel. Something broke open in his heart. He asked for baptism. When he returned to Cecilia transformed, he saw the angel. Radiant, terrible, beautiful. The angel placed crowns of roses and lilies on both their heads. "These are from paradise. Your marriage will be one of perpetual purity. Together you will win the martyr's crown." Their wedding night became their conversion. One conversion led to another. When Tiburtius visited his brother, he noticed a change in Valerian and a heavenly fragrance like roses blooming in winter. "Brother, where is this scent coming from?" Valerian told everything. Cecilia spoke of Christ who died and rose, of God's love, of the kingdom that would never end. Her words pierced Tiburtius's heart. "Take me to Urban," he said, weeping. "I want what you have found." Now there were three. They used their wealth quietly for the hidden church. When martyrs were executed and left unburied, Valerian and Tiburtius retrieved the bodies. When poor believers needed food, Cecilia's doors opened. Her home became a house church in secret. They lived in joy despite danger. Their work couldn't stay hidden forever. Roman officials noticed. Someone saw them carrying bodies to the catacombs. The brothers were arrested and dragged before the prefect. "Sacrifice to the gods," the prefect commanded. "We worship only Christ," they answered. "We will not deny him." The prefect pronounced the sentence, "Death by beheading." As they walked toward execution, the brothers spoke of Christ to their escort, an officer named Maximus. Their joy in the face of death broke his heart. "This faith that makes you unafraid, I want it." They baptized him with water from a stream. The executioner's sword fell. Both brothers died confessing Christ. Maximus buried them, then joined them in martyrdom when his conversion was discovered. Word reached Cecilia. She wept, but through the tears ran a strange joy. They had won, and she knew her turn was coming. Now they came for her. Prefect Almachius had her brought to his tribunal. "Sacrifice to the gods. Hand over your property, and you may live." "My property has been given to the poor," Cecilia said calmly. "I will not bow to demons." Her quiet eloquence frustrated him. Worse, some in the courtroom were themselves convinced by her testimony. He pronounced the sentence quickly, "Death by suffocation." She would be locked in her bathhouse with the furnace stoked until the heat killed her. They sealed her in. The heat became unbearable. They waited for screams. They heard singing instead. All night, Cecilia's voice rose through the sealed door. Hymns of praise. In the morning, they found her alive, unharmed, kneeling in prayer. Almachius ordered her to be beheaded in her home. An executioner struck once, twice, 3 times, the Roman legal maximum, but each blow failed to fully sever her head. She lay mortally wounded but alive. The executioner fled. Cecilia lived 3 more days. She lay bleeding, death coming slowly. But Christians came in streams. She blessed them, gave away her possessions, and requested that her house become a church. And she prayed. Hour after hour, life draining away, she prayed. On the 3rd day, November 22, around 230 AD, Cecilia died. They found her, lying on her side. 3 fingers raised on one hand, the Trinity. 1 finger on the other, God's unity. Even in death, she testified. They buried her, but her song never stopped. "600 years passed. In 821 AD, Pope Paschal I dreamed of a young woman showing him where to find her body. They dug in the catacombs of Calixtus and found 3 bodies, Valerian, Tiberius, and between them, Cecilia. Her body was incorrupt, perfectly preserved in a gold-embroidered robe. She lay on her side, fingers still extended. They moved her to a basilica built over her home. In 1599, during renovations, they opened her sarcophagus, still incorrupt after 1,400 years. The sculptor Maderno carved an exact marble replica of her body, the position, the neck wounds, and the extended fingers. Then, exposed to air, her body finally decayed. But Maderno's sculpture preserved forever what he had seen. Why did she become a patron of musicians? A single line from her Passion. While the instruments played at her wedding, Cecilia sang in her heart to the Lord. That image captured music's purpose, lifting the soul to God, transforming noise into meaning. Medieval artists depicted her with instruments. By the Renaissance, she was firmly established as music's patron. The 1584 Academy of Music in Rome took her name. Today, conservatories worldwide bear her name. Medieval artists depicted her with instruments. By the Renaissance, she was firmly established as music's patron. The 1584 Academy of Music in Rome took her name. Today, conservatories worldwide bear her name. Her basilica still stands in Trastevere. Pilgrims venerate Maderno's sculpture, seeing her as she was found, young, wounded, witnessing. Her incorruption testified to God's power. Her martyrdom testified to faith's cost. Her patronage testifies that all beauty comes from God. They tried to silence her through marriage. She converted her household. They tried to silence her through fire. She sang louder. They struck her 3 times with a sword. She lived 3 more days, blessing and praying. They buried her body. It refused to corrupt. Saint Cecilia, the bride who belonged only to Christ, the martyr whose song outlasted Rome, the patron who reminds every musician that beauty matters because God is beautiful, that art is prayer when offered with love. For the young woman forced into unwanted circumstances, Cecilia shows that interior freedom is possible. For the artist wondering if their work matters, she teaches that all true beauty participates in heaven's music. For anyone facing pressure to compromise faith, she proves one witness can change everything. She sang at her wedding while promising herself to God. She sang when they tried to suffocate her. She sang with life pouring from her neck. And 2,000 years later, whenever a choir lifts the Gloria, whenever a violinist draws beauty from strings, whenever someone creates art pointing beyond itself, Cecilia sings still. The instruments play. The world celebrates its noise, but those who listen hear the song she never stopped singing. The heart's pure melody rising to God alone.